I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm ready to talk politics, baby. I'm about ready to talk politics. Cause I think Joe Biden has lost his damn mind is what I think. Okay, I think Joe Biden and the Democrats, dare I say, that they ain't I'm starting to, I don't know if y'all starting to smell what I'm starting to smell. But I'm starting to smell. Hey man, what can you do about it? That's why it's important to try to get here. I can never really get tired of talking politics. I don't know about the rest of you. Sometimes I find myself fiending. But you know, you can only know but so much. That's downright due to also government incompetence, right? It's about they helping us or they ending child poverty, they doing all this bullshit. First of all, you ain't even putting people back home. You talking about you cutting something in half. How the hell can you cut child poverty in half and you not even putting people back home? This shit is blowing my mind. But wait till you hear this. But I'm ready to talk politics, baby. Let's talk politics, baby. Politics as usual. I can't get off of these dumbass Democrats. If this don't change in 6 months, I promise you, in the next 6 months, and I don't see a protest, I don't give a damn if it's a one-man army out there, you gonna see me out there. In DC too, watch. I'm antsy now, really. I'm ready to jump, right? I'm ready to goddamn jump. I'm ready to jump on a bandwagon. If somebody else make a move, I'm busting the goddamn move. I promise you that. But if I gotta go out there by my goddamn self, you gonna see Portal prime time on the live. Goddamn, they probably gonna shoot me down. But I'm not scared to die. If I could die young and do what needs to be done, than to live old and decrepit and not accomplish and do. Man, I'd rather go out like a G. But if I'm going out for what I love or what I believe in, that's the way I would want to go out. I would rather go out young. And I got to be careful what I say, man, because I'm not the only one with that mindset. You know who else had that mindset? Kobe Bryant. That Mamba mentality. Right, Tracy McGrady and Kobe Bryant were very close friends, right? And I seen a Tracy McGrady interview where he said that it was a crazy thing when they were younger. Kobe Bryant kept saying and always said that he was going to die young, and he'd rather die young. He didn't want to be old, and he wanted to be immortal. He wanted to go out on top. He wanted to be legendary, right? He didn't want to be like 90 and all that. And then he died in that goddamn helicopter crash with his daughter. So, you know, they do say be careful what you ask for. But I could understand that mentality, right? I could understand why he felt like that. Plus, I don't think that this is it. So if Joe Biden is it ain't worth living any goddamn way. Come on, man. Let's talk about the money for the virus. It says more than 131 million vaccine doses have so far been distributed in the U.S. and more than 98 million administered. This is a while ago, so I think now we're at 100 million doses. We're at a little bit over 100 million doses. So as of right now, this story is a couple days old, like 3 days old, but right now we're over 100 million doses. I think we're doing about 2 million a day or something. More than 131 million vaccine doses have been distributed. It says with the country on track to meet the administration's goal of 100 million jabs during the first 100 days of his administration, April 30th will mark the 100th day in office. But Biden has said by the end of May next month, the country will have enough supply to vaccinate every adult in the U.S. The goal then becomes having enough to offer supplies as well as people to administer the vaccine. So by the end of May, we should have enough vaccines for every. It's funny how they say every adult, right? That's the little catch. You got to really look at what people say, man. When you read this and you hear how they talk. So he said every adult. What the hell is that supposed to mean? So you're not going to have enough vaccines for anybody, because adult is considered, I guess, 18. You would consider adult. So you're going to have enough vaccines for everybody 18 and older, because that's what adult is. That's the definition of an adult in our country. But I guess if you're under 18, there's not going to be enough. So you see how he didn't say we have enough vaccines to vaccinate everyone. He said every adult. He's very, when you know how you're dealing with a habitual liar, and how I know Joe Biden is a habitual liar, because he's very particular with his word, right? Like the $2,000 checks. And then when it came around, he gave us the $1,400 because he said, oh, but what I was saying, because of the $600 that Trump gave you, add that on to my $1,400 and there go your $2,000. Right? He's one of those type people, the filthiest slimiest, disgustingest people in the world. I hate to deal with those type people, right? You got to really look out and always be on. I hate to be around somebody where you just know they're a filthy individual, right? Like, yeah, we give you $2,000, but hold on now. Remember now, the other guy gave you the $600, so I only got to give you $400. That don't make no goddamn sense, man. He does it every time. If you listen to him, he does. It comes natural to him because he's a slime ball, racist politician from the old school, Joe Biden. And everybody who told you to vote for Joe Biden is a fool. Anytime you see somebody who talks the way he talks, it can't be straight up with you. He always try to come like, I'm shooting to the American people straight off the hip. You ain't shooting straight off the hip, right? Anybody who talk like that, you know that you got to watch these type people. So you see right there where he say we're going to have enough to vaccinate every adult. So I guess that would mean we're not going to have the 350 million doses we need. We're going to have enough for whatever every adult means. And then what they define that as. And then you still have no $15 minimum wage, no student debt cancellation, no Medicare for it. Really is nothing in this bill. But I literally want to know what they're going to do in September, because this is how you know we're in a dysfunctional society with a dysfunctional government. Dysfunctional people do shit like kick the can down the road, right? You've been in a dysfunctional family before. You've dealt with dysfunctional people. They never just do what they need to do and get it done. It's always like they're going to do it up until this point so they can find themselves in the same goddamn predicament. You know good and goddamn well, I tell the people in my own life, I say, man, I can't deal with people like you. You do that you know is going to have you in the same predicament in a few months. I don't understand it. I couldn't, and you have the means and the resources to just do it and get it done with. This is the federal government. Literally, the Fed said they got unlimited printing power. We don't go by the gold standard no more. It ain't no where, oh, taxpayer dollars, this and that. Everybody knows that's got any common sense and a little bit of education that money is really imaginary, right? They print it up. There's nothing backing it. The Fed that came out over almost 2 years ago and said, hey, man, in an interview on TV, he said, listen, we got unlimited printing power. Whatever they tell us to print, we could print. This is what he said, infinite printing power. There's no more gold standard. Money is just based on, you know how our currency works? It's like a fiat currency, what they call now? It's just based on the fact that you got confidence and faith in it. And that's how, you know, our dollar value drops. When you see the dollar drop, is because people lose confidence or people lose faith in it. People lose belief in it. Then you'll see the American dollar drop, or other countries, their dollar drop. When people have confidence and faith back in the dollar, you see it goes back up, right? This is how the money fluctuates when what's the dollar worth, right? So it has nothing to do with literally nothing else, nothing else. So all this that all you hear these people talking about, these dumbass Republican people that don't know how finances work, that still think we live back in goddamn 1950s or some or the 40s or the 30s or the 1900s, that don't get it through their thick ass head that this is all imaginary. There is no nothing. It's just they print the people have belief in it and say, oh, it's worth something, it's valuable. It is. If people like us say it ain't worth nothing, it ain't valuable, the economy, the dollar crashes and it won't be. Right? If the whole world got together right now and decided that the American dollar ain't worth or wanted to devalue it, if the rest of the world did that, then that's what it would be. We don't have no control over that. Right? If the major countries across the world really wanted to us, they can devalue our dollar by just saying, well, you say that, we say your dollar is worth right. But the only reason, again, they don't do that, the reason we got them by the is because we are so intertwined in the global economy that it will literally sink every goddamn body. So everybody works to say the American dollar is good, right? Because we're in bed with every goddamn body. We're all connected, right? It's not going to be like that forever. It always changes. I'm not sure exactly what will change it, but the tides will change, right? You don't always have somebody by the so right now, all this about the deficit and the debt, man, literally that shit is imaginary. You see, they don't care about no deficit and debt when they need $500 billion out of this, $1 trillion out of the blue thing, the goddamn air to pay for a goddamn to go bomb somebody, right? They could pay $100 billion a day in another country to drop bombs and go to war and stay there indefinitely. I don't know how much goddamn war costs that we've been in. I would probably say over 20-30 trillion dollars though, right? There's just numbers you can't even imagine because it's all play. So all this about like they can't do this and they just don't want to do this. When they want to do it, they do it, right? When Trump did the $2 trillion tax, everybody act like they forget. When Trump did $2 trillion just a year, less than a year ago, his first package, he gave most of that all to the rich and wealthy people. Like us, we really literally, them $1,200 checks is literally all we got. Like 85% of that went to Jeff Bezos type motherfucker. They snatched all that shit up. And then when it came back around, they did the $900 billion and then just gave us a $600 check. First time around, the motherfucker took the whole $2 trillion, which was really like $5 trillion, gave it to all their damn buddies and donors and themselves. They had plenty of money for that. And then when it's time to do something for you and me, this is when we start talking about the budget and the deficit. That's the only time that I've ever heard in my lifetime any of them talk about, Democrat and Republican, the budget and the deficit. You know how much the Republicans just ran the deficit up? The national debt. Trump just blew that open, that right open. They didn't give a damn about that. They didn't, because they know it don't matter. So and if you know what, if you're going to run the goddamn debt up by like doing something, let's say if we are going to run the deficit and debt up by doing something like ending child poverty in America, do it. Instead of running the deficit and debt up for fighting for Iraq when they don't even want you fighting for them. Right? Oh, we got to go help them, they being Billy, but we don't want your help. And then you got your own people. We need help. We'll take it. Hey, where's that? Can we get some health care? It's crazy as hell to me. So what if you're gonna run? If you're gonna run the deficit and debt up anyway, because that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna print money. We're gonna create wealth. We're gonna create money. Then just you might as well do it. I don't understand normal people that have this argument. And like, oh, taxpayer dollars, man. Goddamn, man, we pay taxes, man. We're going in the deficit. The debt, man, the national deficit. I just had a talk with somebody. I'm not going to mention no names. This white guy, he's talking about all this. I'm just listening. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking in my head when he finished, I say, okay, man. So let's say they take our tax dollars and actually spend it on us. What's the problem? Where are we going to get the money from, man? That's our tax dollars. How about we get the money from our tax dollars and actually spend it on us and our kids, since it's our tax dollars? How about that? I've never seen people that want to penny pinch themselves. I'm not going to penny pinch for my goddamn self and my family. If anything, I'll penny pinch over your ass. Right? He talk about all this shit about where we're going to get the money from. And oh my God, man, tax dollars and this and that. And they just dropped like $800 billion worth of bombs in Syria. I seen this interview with this young white kid from, I think he was ice fisherman. He's very young, maybe 19, 20. And they CNN around and got caught off guard. They did an interview with him and they was asking him about Biden. And he said, it's real funny to me that he got money. He don't got the money to give me my damn $2,000, but he got the money to buy bombs to go bomb Syria. You know what I mean? And, I'm like, right on, white guy. You get it, right? It's real funny to me that you ain't got my $2,000 to pay me, but you got enough money to go buy some damn bombs. So again, if we gonna spend the goddamn money, deficit, debt, and all this dumb shit, okay, taxpayer dollars. Oh man, okay. So how about this? What if they actually use our taxpayer dollars on us taxpayers? Like healthcare for everybody, free public colleges. I'm not talking about universities and private schools. We still got private schools. We got private high school, but you pay for private high school. You don't pay for your public high school you went to, right? If you want to go to a private high school, there's plenty of them in the country, right? I went to a private middle school at one point. My father paid for that for a couple years. Okay, cool. You can do that, but if we couldn't pay and afford the private middle school, then I went to a public middle school and we didn't pay. So how about school all the way up to college so we can get these dumbasses off the street? Matter of fact, it should be mandatory that you go learn some type of skill or trade. Right? It don't got to be mandatory because we got a free country where somebody going to force you to do it. But, we get into a mindset to where you going to feel so out of place. Like, damn, you ain't got no trade. You a piece of shit. Right, just make a person feel like that. So everybody, okay, let me do this. You can't make nobody or force nobody to do it, but you're gonna put it to start a mindset for people to where it becomes natural. Like, you look down upon if you didn't do it. Like, why the can't you go get a trade or some type of skill? It's free. Why don't you go read a book is free now. The book is free to read. You literally got people who don't read books because they can't afford to read the goddamn book. So if you're going to use the taxpayer dollars any goddamn way, I don't see why do people who are regular, normal Republican men and women, why do they have a problem with the government using the tax dollars on your children and you? Like, you know they're going to use it anyway. That's my point. They're going to use it anyway. It ain't like they're going to save the goddamn money. The more that they can save from shitting us, the more they're going to take for themselves. So you know it's not like, oh, if they don't spend it on us, then all this money is just going to stack up. No, motherfucker, it's just like you in your life. If you don't use the money for your rent, you're going to find something else to use it on. You're going to use it anyway. It's one of them situations. Like the $1,400 check if you need it, right? You're going to use it anyway. You can save it for a day. You can save it for a week. You can save it for 2 weeks, but you're going to use it anyway. Money is meant to be used at the end of it all, right? That's the purpose, literally. And if you're a government, it's meant to be used, and it should be used on the people who deserve it and the people who are in need, right? So like if you're going to use it to do infrastructure, roads and bridges, use it for healthcare, use it for schooling, use it to end child poverty, right? We ain't talking about, well, God forbid if we help a human being just because, they're up on their luck or hard out there on the street, maybe they're on drugs or whatever. God forbid we help somebody who's struggling. But goddamn, can we agree that we can help the kids? Like, kids don't get to pick the parents they're born to, right? My child, and just like when I was born, didn't get to pick who the hell his dad or his mama was gonna be. So we can't even come to an agreement where we can even start off on a regular decent level, just on a floor basis, like the basement level of, hey man, okay, we can agree to help the kid. We got debates in this country about helping kids, right? We got debates in the country about ending kid poverty. You know that there's debates about it going on because why does it exist? Who is debating against ending it? If you come out, this is how you know they can do it. If you could come out and say you could do half of it, then there's no reason why you can't just fix it. You just admitted you could fix half of it. So just do that same process again and then fix the whole thing. Whatever the hell you're doing to fix the 50%, just do it again. And then you can say, oh, guess what? Now it's done. So this is, I don't know, man. It's just very, Joe Biden is just a loser. Right? He's just, I don't know if he's going to make it his whole 4 years or not. Right? I don't know if he even gives a damn of what's going on in the country, or like I don't know how these people think. But I know that they're not in touch with people like me and what's actually going on. They have no goddamn idea what they think. This is ending any type of poverty. This is bringing so many people out of poverty. This is just like, they think this $1,400 is, I mean, the way they're talking about this, you would have thought they just end the homeless crisis or some shit, right? This is why we can't do shit like that, because they do some shit like give you $1,400 after what? So in the last like 4 months or so, they've given us $2,000. So literally it averages out to, they gave us about $500 a month, right? These motherfuckers gave us $500 a month, and you act like these motherfuckers done, I don't know, man, turn water into wine around this motherfucker. I don't know, man. I don't know how y'all feel about this, but like I say, this stimulus package to me is bull. The biggest reason to me that is bull is because it's only intended to last for like 6 months, right? And then the child tax credits last for a year. But as far as the unemployment benefits, and as far as the rent moratoriums to keep people from being kicked out, landlords from losing their properties, as far as all that goes, this is only 6 months, less than 6 months, because time's a ticking. So this is a temporary, immediate gratification type fix. There's no real fix here. Right? If I came and fixed your damn car, if you paid me to fix your car, but I only fix it to run for 3 months, I do the bare minimum of whatever I do to fix it, but I know it's only going to work for 3 months, and I fix it for that, you would say I'm scamming you, right? When you find out about it, you're furious. So that's the way I feel about this coronavirus package. I feel like Joe Biden is a dirty ass sneaky, snaky ass mechanic. I've dealt with a couple of them in my day. I got that same feeling about this thing. Like you gonna fix, but you gonna fix it to make sure I had to come back to your ass in a couple months, right? You gonna fix it again, and then it's gonna break down again, and I'm gonna have to come back to your ass again in a couple months. And the whole time you had the power to fix the shit completely, but you just basically taking me on a long ride. So Joe Biden, I'm gonna be the only person you hear. This is my analogy. This ain't come off from nowhere else. He's a side street mechanic and made it into the White House. Okay, that's what he is, man. Joe Biden's a side street mechanic, man. It's no different from this he just did, right? He done some where he know in a few months we're gonna be in the same predicament we already in. But he acting like it's the best shit in the world. So that's my new thing. Joe Biden is a snaky side street mechanic. It says the original payment that was agreed upon by the House of Representatives in February was a $400 weekly amount that would end in August. However, the Senate approved the changes to give people only $300. So even with the unemployment benefits, right? Even with the unemployment benefits, the Republicans have nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this. The Democrats was going to give everybody the $400 a week for the unemployment. Because remember, when Trump was in business, they wanted $600. They act like they did. They kept saying, oh, we need $600 for the people. Then when Trump was in business, they was like, they wasn't budgeting. They got to be at least $400. Remember, they didn't want to work with Trump. Trump was at one point was talking about giving $2,000 checks. He really called their goddamn bluff. Come up when he did that. But they kept acting like the unemployment benefits, we ain't going under 400. Now they get total power. And the original unemployment for y'all, if y'all getting unemployment, whoever may be getting it, was 400. And out of nowhere, they negotiated themselves down. Could you imagine doing something like that? Could you imagine negotiating yourself down? Because this is what they did. They're not negotiating with the Republicans. Again, no Republicans signed on to this bill anyway. So if you know you were getting no support from the other side anyway, why not do what you want to do? If you want to get $400 unemployment checks, why not give the $400? If you want to give the $15 minimum wage, why not give the goddamn $15 minimum wage? If you want to cancel $10,000 in student debt, why not just do it? In each of these instances, my point is they negotiated themselves down, right? The $10,000, first of all, Democrats act like they want to do $50,000 student debt forgiveness. Some even go as far as saying just forgive it all. But then Joe Biden comes and says, well, I'm not going to do that, but I will do 10,000. Didn't do it. I think his Alzheimer's is up, and sometimes when it's time to actually sign the bill and get done, I think he forgets he's president and thinks he's still in the Senate. I think that's what's happening with Joe Biden. I think that he's forgetting he's goddamn president of the United States, and his Alzheimer kicks in. He thinks he's a senator. I don't have the power. Jill, give me the bill. Senator Joe Biden. Stop signing your goddamn name. You're not the senator, bro. Because you know that's what he did the longest in his career. And when you get the Alzheimer's, you forget about new and then you may remember some from back when you was 30 and you think that's it, right? That's people go to the wrong house when they got Alzheimer's. You know, they didn't live, you go to the house you lived to 30 goddamn years ago. But I think Joseph R. Biden believes he's a senator. I don't think he knows he's president. I think he thinks he's Senator Joe Biden, because time and time again, every time he say he gonna do something or he wants something, he turns around and acts like he can't do it. Or he like Joe Manchin, the Senator Joe Manchin. The senator says, we not doing that. And he's like, okay, yes, President Manchin. Right. I think he forgets that he's president. And I think they're taking advantage of the old guy. What else can you explain it? He didn't do the $10,000 for the student debt. That's what he said he wanted. He didn't do it. Joe Biden said every worker deserves a living wage. Every man and woman should work with dignity. This is out his mouth. Then it comes time to do it. He takes it out of the bill. He takes it out. He didn't do it. So $10,000 student debt, down the drain. $15 minimum wage, he takes it out. Both student debt and $15 down the drain. Medicare for all, right? Giving people health care just for the pandemic. Let's test it out for the pandemic. He literally said if the legislation passed the House and wound it up on his desk, he wouldn't sign it. He would veto it. Right? He said, if for some miracle, this is what he said. He said, if by some miracle, the House was somehow to get that on his desk and it was to actually pass, the House and the Senate, right? By hypothetical miracle, what he said. Even if he would be willing to shoot down a goddamn miracle. You know that man, the goddamn devil. How you gonna say if by some miracle this happens, then I'm gonna be the one to make sure I kill it? You killing the miracle, bro? I would be the opposite. I would say if they pass the House and the Senate by some miracle, because it would literally be a miracle, I would have to think it's divine, to make sure you and me don't get none. He willing to go against God, because from what I understand, Joe Biden is a man of the cross. He's a devout Catholic, right? They believe in miracles, the birth of Jesus, the miracle, the manger, right? They believe in miracles. In his words, he would say, even if it was a miracle, if God himself made this happen, I would kill it. So basically he's saying God, right? God's the only one, according to Joe Biden and his faith, and people who believe in God, right, is God is the one who make miracles. The devil don't make miracles. God makes miracles. He was going to veto God. He was going to veto the miracle. The man is horrible, man. But let me move on, because the last thing I was going to say about this whole little stimulus package is, it says, beware, however, this is all tied to the 2020 tax returns, which could make things complicated, especially if you already filed your taxes this year. That was the last one that just, they saved it for the very end too, that killed me, right? And after all that bullshit, after taking the $2,000 down to $1,400, after killing the $15 for a living wage, after killing any type of $10,000 or any type of help for students that are thousands and tens of thousands, some cases hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, right? He killed that. Healthcare, he basically said, even if God sent it to his desk himself, he would disagree with God. He would cancel a miracle. And then on top of, and the fact that like, I don't know, 12 to 15 less million people are going to get checks because he raised the threshold. And the fact that all this is tied to your 2020 taxes. And if you was doing good in 2020 before the pandemic hit, or right when the beginning of the pandemic hit, there's no guarantee, and there's probably a good guarantee that you're not doing so good now. So why the hell would you base all this on 2020? That it can make it a lot more difficult, and you might not be getting a check. And even if you get one, it's going to be way down the line, right? It could take months for you to actually receive your. So it says at the end of this all, be aware that at the last little goddamn dagger of this senile dude is that all of this is tied to your 2020 taxes, right? They're basing all of this on how well you did last year, right? When we first had the pandemic hit in 2020. We all trying to figure this shit out. So let's say last year, if you had a decent year where you filed your taxes, but you know, there's going to be basically 2019 because you filed your taxes. When you file your taxes in 2020, that's your 2019 taxes. So let's just say 2019, basically you had a good goddamn year. Now we're in 2021, and these some going to go by what you were making in 2019. You understand that? So all of this that I just said, even if you consider some of it good, the $1,400 checks, all that is all contingent on what you made in 2009. So God forbid if before the pandemic you were doing okay, because we know that some people before the pandemic had damn businesses and homes that they were living in, and when the pandemic hit, they lost that. They're getting boxes of canned goods and bread lines. We know that some people were doing pretty decent or well, and then the pandemic has crushed them. So I just don't understand, why would you base this on 2019 income? So all this is based on 2019. And then if you do want to fix this, like I say, if you already filed, say if you have already filed your taxes, then you got to go back and try to make an amendment. Or it's just a whole bunch of bullshit. What I'm saying is making more difficult so less people can actually, this is what the government do, or what people that's evil do, right? They'll make it, you got to jump through so many hoops and make it so difficult that if, like me, I'm giving you this information, but people who can't get access to this information or don't know no better, I know people that still ain't got the stimuluses. And these people, I'm talking about poor people. I know some poor people who still ain't got, and it's usually old people that ain't got nobody to help walk them through this. I know for a fact that there's some people that I know that ain't got their stimuluses that qualify and definitely should have it. That only got their first, they didn't get their first two stimuluses. I had to tell my mom's how to walk through. She didn't get her stimulus, the $600 one. Like, she got that not too long ago because I didn't know she didn't get it. Right? I'm like, you didn't make over $75,000. What the hell? You should have got it. So my point is, those billions of dollars that from people that didn't collect their first round and their second round of money. All that money is just sitting there left over. What do you think they're gonna do with that goddamn money? You think they're gonna say, "Oh, look, these people didn't claim their money, and we got an extra $80 billion. Let's do free school, free public college. We got it. We're gonna put this 80 billion or this 100 billion down." No, they'll take that and spread it out amongst themselves and then call you a sucker. But really what they did is make it so difficult that people just give up, and then they give the money to themselves and to their buddies. So this is the same trick they always goddamn play. Right. So at the end of the day, again, all of this is contingent on 2019. So God forbid if you were doing good in 2019. Remember, this is before the pandemic. 2019 coronavirus wasn't even here yet. So if you have filed your taxes already and you don't get your check, you need to get in touch with I'm not a tax professional, but I'm just saying you need to get in touch with a tax professional. You're probably more than likely going to have to file an amendment and get in touch with the IRS and go through that process so you can get your check if it's worth it to you. Yeah. So again, like I say, all of this shit is contingent on if you were doing good. They're basing this stimulus check on the stimulus. They're basing the whole stimulus on if you were doing good before COVID-19 existed. I told you that motherfucker got Alzheimer's. There's no other explanation. He's still in 2019. Peace. I hit the wrong button.